Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to my channel. Happy birthday to you. It has been 1 year since I started this little bit of slapdickery. So we're just going to continue on and keep going. Appreciate you guys being here for it. Hope you guys hang around, see how long we can keep this party going. And yep, we're going to get into the next part of the TC3. This is what we got done last time. Got our drivetrain all set and ready to go. So we're going to throw some shocks on her now. And these are the ones that come in the kit. They're not some of the aftermarket ones. They're not like the team ones or anything like that were aluminum bodied with the threaded collar and all that type of stuff. These are, oops, almost flung it across the place. These are a composite plastic. It is an injection molded type of a system. They come on these little plastic racks. Got the little nubs everywhere from where it was all injected into the mold. And it's actually really nice material. So we're going to get that started. So now that I've already just got this in my hand, what we're going to do is we're just going to throw the little O-ring on. It goes right below all the threads. Get that slipped on there real quick. And then we'll get on to getting the internals put together. So you can get that so you guys can see how this all works. And get you tilted down here so you can see what the heck is going on. All right. Scoot you over. Pretty little springs. Shock shaft. Everybody's favorite thing. The E-clip. And this one here, I don't use any kind of a tool. I just put it over here on the hard surface and snap it on. If it will cooperate and stay in the groove while I get it lined up. Snap, snap. Let me get our piston. And when I put my pistons on, I put them to where you can see the number when you go to take the cap back off. That way you know just by looking in there is like, oh, okay, I got the number 2s in there. Well, let's try some number 3s in here, or try the number 1s in here. The kit comes with an entire set 1, 2, and 3. So it's just a different hole, different size hole. And so you can try different valvings and all that kind of stuff. Oh, my nose is itching. Here it comes. Yeah, stop that one. I didn't want that to be on the damn microphone anyways. That would have been horrible. Slip that in there. Now, the interesting part of these ones here was the piston is really, really tight between the E-clips. It doesn't slip that much at all. You really got to put some force in there to get the shaft to spin. So it stays pretty firm in there. Now, the interesting part of these is just like this little bobbin right here. It's just a square little cassette. It's round in the center, and this piece of foam that gets put in there. You soak it in the shock oil before you put it in, and do the same thing with the O-rings. And now the way that they made these O-rings, the way they built these shafts back then, was the shaft where the threads are is much smaller, so it doesn't grab the O-ring as it's going across these sharp little threads and cut your O-ring. So let's pop open the old oil that come in the kit. Nice little 40 weight. We'll put a little bit more on there. It's been sitting there soaking for a little bit on the paper towel, so it's soaked off into the paper towel. We'll get her all nice and drippy. And just putting it in. Get the bottom of the shock shaft lined up with the hole. If I can see it while you see it at the same time, that's cool. Come on, get in there. There it goes. And it all just pushes right on through. Get the shock roll off my fingers. Go through. There's no place that it actually locks in there. It's just really tight in there. So then I'll take my pliers and just right on top of the shock shaft, I'll press down on it real hard, as hard as I can, so it'll kind of mash everything into place, so it'll make it a little bit tighter seal, and they slide really smooth. Now, I think some of you guys know it, but if any of you don't have a pair of these, get you some. This will save you from scarring up your shock shafts and making your shocks leak. That's one of the main problems with shocks, is the shocks will leak because you've put a burr in it or something, and when it compressed, it cut your seal. And put that on the bottom piece. We're only going to be doing just this one shock on here. I got the rest of them already built. They need a little bit of bleeding, but I can do that later. So we'll move this guy's out of the way and bring in the rest of the kids. These guys have already been done. And now with these, they'll have rebound to them. This one's a little bit fast, so I need to bleed that one off a little bit. It's a little bit firm. That one there is not too bad. It is a little bit too fast. It needs to slow down a little bit. Probably need to bleed it some too. This one here, that one's all the way to the bottom. Nice. That one's pretty good. We'll wipe that one off. That one's not too bad. That's probably going to be the best one out of them all so far. And just the same as you normally do. Fill her up. Get some oil in there. Not all the way to the top, because you need some room in there for it to suck down a little bit. And what I usually do with mine, and people will probably tell you don't do that, but when I bring it up, I'll bring it up slow, so that you're not going to suck any air and sucking through the oil, but then pull it down real fast. And you probably see all those little bubbles all popping in there. And with these pistons being like that, you can actually sit there and spin the piston around and catch the bubbles. Add a little bit more. We're not going all the way to the top just yet, because that'll get pushed up to the top as it's doing it anyway. See, it just tried to suck it in. Tried to suck air right there. It's almost to the top. And you pull it down good and hard, and it blasts them through. We'll let that one settle for a little bit while we go on. Like I said, I'll bleed these later. I'll pull them back apart and bleed them later. I don't know. Maybe I'll leave those in. No, because we're going to put them on the car. We're going to get these suckers put on the car today, too. So, I wonder if I can. If I can now. Can I get a hold of the body? I can. I can get a hold of the body. This is... Oh, that puppy gets in there tight. Once they get on there, I don't... Forgot about that. Gotta loosen it up off of that O-ring just a little bit. It didn't bleed. Well, we'll mess with those later. I'm not going to waste any time doing that right now. That one's got to settle a little bit. We'll get these put together, get their ball ends in, and then we'll get them on the car so that you can see that too. That one. All right. Now with these, you had a little collar that went up there. That sit up here at top, and that's where you would put your spacers, is between that and the top here. That's your spring, just like everybody else. Get it popped up in there. Well, we might have to put some limiters in there because that's awfully long. Look how much space there is on that. I might have to go back in and put some limiters on this later. We'll see how it goes. Because it's rebounding nicely, but that's a lot of space right there. That's kind of crazy. So now we can put the bottom one ball in. Scoot you out of the way so you can see this too. Putting the bottom ball in. Just like that. Makes for a nice little installation. All right, well. That's weird. Wouldn't expect them to do that. That doesn't give much shock compression. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to grab a fat collar and pop it in there for right now. So that way you got good compression and got the big fat collar on there. And I do believe it said that the gold ones go to the front. Gold front, silver rear. All right. So we'll start out with a completely neutral setup here. Have everybody set up the same all the way around. And then I'll start fiddling with getting better setup later. All right, that one's done. Max. Max. Enough. Oh, the doggy drama. Get this in here. Oh, neighborhood traffic. All coming through. Pop that into place. Slide that down. We'll put the fat collar on. Get the one little ball. Put the ball right on that little arbor. And gently and firmly, this has got this little notch right here that you set right down in that hole and pops it right on there. Uh-oh. Almost spilt my oil. That one there's going to be done pretty good. And it says you got to get it to bulging just a little bit. And then you take your cap and you fill it up. I usually just fill it right up to the threads, and then once it settles out, it actually goes a little bit more. And you do it as fast as you can so that you don't make too much of a mess. Ah! Wipe it off real quick. Sector remount. Oh yeah, that's a little bit fast. That's all right. That's all right for right now. This one here I think is a little bit fast too. Those will be going to the rear. Anyways, get our lower ball. Come here. Okay, we can get this out of the way. Bring this back in. Max, stop. There ain't no reason for you to be doing any of that. They're just walking their dog. You too, man. And put on the silver one. Put on our lower retainer. And put a fat spacer in there. Ready to go. One more. I know I'm not doing this in the exact same order every time, but you know, doesn't matter. Although I'm driving my own OCD nuts by doing it that way. Now on these bottom ones, you can see it's a bigger hole, that's a smaller hole. You're not going to get this ball through that other end. I'm telling you that right now. You'll mess some stuff up. And there it is. Put the fat spacer on there. Now, we're set and ready to put them on the car. Move this right up here. Bring the car in. Now this upper spacer has already got like a little backing on it. So it goes right over like that and right on like that. And it comes with these little plastic nuts, which I'm sure I'm going to change out later to put on there. I'll for sure change these out. Put that on there. Make sure that it's not. That's fine. And then we'll go to our shock position. Oops, put that on first. I'll add a little bit of flash in it. These cute little plastic nuts. Look at that. Oh, isn't that cute? God dang the dogs today. Get this on. I don't know how we want to put those. Anyways. Get the rears. We already set our droop height on our arms, so that might actually help with the. I could probably take these out because this is probably going to give it too much preload. Now that I've done that, but for right now, It's fine. We're just getting the static set up right now. Now, the one thing that I have noticed as I've been going through this kit is I have found, because it was an open kit, my hexes are gone. I have no hexes. But I have a box of parts up there, which I'm sure has some hexes in it. I think there's a set of the blue team hexes in there, so might just put those on there just to have a little bit more fanciness on here with the blue shaft, and we'll put the blue wheel hexes on. Now, let me see. I want to know, because this isn't the old book, so it only tells me just in one hole, and this is a newer car. So I'm thinking that maybe I'll go to the outside hole right now. So that's awfully close. Wow. Boom. Yep, all the way out, all the way around. That probably is too much preload for the arm, for the ride height. So we can mess with our droop later. I might have to go back and maybe put some limiters in the shocks too. Yeah, it's a little bit welded. This table, it's a different table. It's a folding table. It folds in the middle here, and you can see, see the crease right there at my thumb, and it doesn't sit flat. Get everybody set up here. One more. Oops. Now, like I said, this is a concrete track out here, or it's not a concrete track, it's a big old concrete pad that I can set up a track on, and then we'll run some laps. But there you go. Here she is. Yeah, that's pretty firm. That's pretty dang firm. And the rear, I need to get some different shocks. Get the other springs if I can find them. That's going to be a fun thing to try and do. Try and find those springs. So, there we go. Free spinning, baby. Right. She's getting there. We're getting much, much closer. And yeah, I gotta find some hexes. I think I've probably got some in the parts bag. Probably the blue team ones, which will be really cool, just to kind of contrast just the blue here and here. And I want to eventually try and find some team body shocks and put on here, just to get just a little bit of blue. I never really went super overkill with all the blue stuff. Some people would go and get the aluminum screw kits and all the screws were blue, But their big mistake is they was using those aluminum screws on the bottom. Huge mistake. You don't ever put the aluminum screws in the bottom. You get stuff getting there, you get into the holes and stuff like that. And with the steel ones, you can dig it out and get the screw out. With the aluminum ones, you're going to strip them out every time. Putting them in up here is not so bad. They're still an aluminum screw, so they're still going to strip out. Otherwise, it's the titanium ones, which is all silver then. But anyways, there you go. One more piece to the old ass car. Need to find a name for this thing. I'm trying to figure out what we're going to call this thing once we get it done. Just don't know. We'll figure it out. But anyways, 1 year. We've made it through an entire year of doing this silliness. And hopefully I'm going to be here for several years more. And just keep on doing it and having some fun and enjoying. Got to get out and get you some more some running videos. I'm trying to figure out some other stuff for filming with. And get out and maybe do some trail rides so you can see more of this amazing country that I live in. And yeah. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Don't forget, like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the ringy-dingy bell so you get your notifications, and check your subscriptions. And if you're not already a subscriber, subscribe. It's free. Doesn't cost you nothing. Doesn't cost anything at all. Just another video to slap up while you're doing stuff. So, with all that, appreciate everybody being here. 1 year. Awesome. Thanks for being here, everybody. I really, really appreciate it. And we will see you on the next one. Thanks. Bye.